Well, Sunday ass worship. Good to go? Let's clap it up. Yabashin Shabbat Thumb, Yahweh Shema Alathan Bashim Yahshai. Like coming in live from DC. Scripture breakdown class, I.S.U.P.K, home of the truth, and no one else under Commanding General Yahanna, 13 Shield Commanding General Yahanna. Right? If you ain't hear his name mentioned with the truth, then it's not the truth. You get me? And anybody disagree, you know my motto. If you was in class a couple of weeks ago. Salakia. Hey, guy, I know there's an extra pen here if you need it, all right? I might need to use this one. Okay, so of course, any questions anybody have, let's get them. Tonight we're gonna go into just a couple of things with doctrine, your foundation, and for sure, one of the most evilest songs I've ever heard is that Beyonce Break My Soul. Everybody, talking about her with her new album and this, that, the other. But Good Night, Irene. Like that is brother, that's if the Tower of Babel had a national anthem, I think that would be it. I think that shit would be it. Don't nobody play the song because I ain't trying to get no copyright infringement or lose my channel for some, long-haired woman who we never see her real hair. I mean, she pays the chinks more than a little bit. All right, but it's an absolute evil song, but people love it for one reason and one reason alone. It's because it's so Christian. It's gospel. It's absolute gospel in its beat, in its structure, in its nature. And it what it does is it's rebellion. It's a spirit of rebellion. And we're gonna go into it, during the class, all right? So any questions? Well, y'all know the Bible, y'all good to go. Y'all straight. Let me know, please.
Yeah, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, this one word is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Okay.
I'll read it first.
Please.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Okay.
The word is throwing me off, or is replenished. Like if there were already people on the planet before Adam and Eve. So if Adam and Eve, if God is telling them to, how can you replenish something that was already there?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Good question, for sure. Okay, so to replenish, think, okay, what would replenish? What does replenish mean? Don't think breaking it down here. Just give me replenish.
To reinvigorate, to revive.
Okay, but okay, to revive. No, to revive is to revive. To revive when the paramedics pick you up and you pass the hell out, or for the mollies, or what's the new thing, the fentanyl. You frothing over the fentanyl, and they revive you, right? Are they replenishing you? So they're reviving you. They're what? They're bringing you back to life. That's reviving, or okay. They're bringing you back to how you were before in that context. To replenish something is a little bit different. It's kind of the same, it's a little bit different.
But I would say something like along the lines of bringing the numbers back up to where it was.
You could bring the numbers back up to where it was. So meaning what? The numbers was up first, then for some reason it dropped. And you are replenishing it, meaning you bringing it back to how it was before. So now, and that could happen. You could say replenish with gas. You use the car, the tank on quarter tank. You lend your homie the car, say, man, you got to replenish that gas. That means go and fill it back up from what was used. money. You replenish your bank account when, you know, one of them banks send you an alert about a low balance. So, you know, you get the overdraft charge. You had to replenish your account. So now, if this is talking about something that was there and then it's not there anymore in the context, read the scripture one more time.
Okay. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Right? God gave them. Read that last part. Read the part again with the replenish.
Okay. Be fruitful and multiply.
Be fruitful and multiply. So what is he telling them to do there?
Populate.
To have sex and make babies, right? To have sex, a man and a woman having sex and making children, to populate. But populating, he said, be fruitful and multiply, right? So now multiplying meaning they're making numbers. They're making men and women having sex and making more, what?
More babies.
More men and women. That's why they're multiplying. And then he said what? After be fruitful and multiply?
And replenish the earth.
And replenish the earth. So this is replenishing, meaning there's people there already. And then something is going to happen. And then what's going to happen?
The earth.
Think simple. Think real simple. There's people, like you was right. There's people there already. So
those people are going to be gone.
How?
They're going to die.
How?
Through the flood.
Not so far down. You're thinking still big. Think simple. How do people die?
Old age, violence.
Because that's life.
Constant.
The life cycle is a baby is born, grows older, dies, and then comes right back. That's replenishing the earth. That's how reincarnation is possible. Even the white man, he's such an idiot. He does not teach reincarnation. Our oppressor, he does not teach reincarnation. The Christian church does not teach reincarnation, yet still they call it a life cycle. How could it be a cycle if there's no reincarnation? You understand? If there's no reincarnation, that means the baby born, a toddler, child, adolescent, or pre-adolescent, adolescent, young adult, full-grown adult, geriatric, sick, dead. Then that's it. There's no life cycle. There's no redoing it again. But they call it a life cycle, and then they teach you that there's no reincarnation, which is just absolutely stupid. You get the point? When the Lord said, replenish the earth, replenish, redo it, meaning to redo something means it was already done. So I'm just doing this over. There's people here before, they're going to die. I'm going to do it again. Bring more people back and people back and people back. It's a life cycle. That's the life cycle right there. Replenish the earth is life cycle. Salaki, go ahead.
I got a precept if I may.
Uh-huh.
The book of Psalm, chapter 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face. They are troubled. Thou takest away their breath. They die and return to their dust. Verse 30. Thou sendest forth thy spirit. That they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
Exactly. You could use that. That's a reincarnation scripture that goes straight here with this replenish. Like reincarnation is right there in Genesis 1. That's Genesis 1 or 3? That's Genesis chapter 1. Reincarnation is right there. That's your life cycle. And you appear that with any, that's the probably perfect reincarnation scripture to pair with this to break down replenish. Because replenishing wouldn't, just like if there's no water in the house, you go get more water and you put it back. Is it new water? It's the same water that you done pissed in and pissed out and washed, and the water goes down the drain and they do whatever with it and it evaporates into the air. Some of them places, they just recycle the water and send it back. But your typical water cycle, if it is we you're pulling water from a well or from a river or from the ocean. It's really the water goes right back into the ocean, it evaporates into the clouds. The Lord does whatever he does with it up there. And then you have what's condensation, that's what they call it, when it starts to fall and you get rain and precipitate. It's the whole cycle. Life is the same way, and that's what he means. Replenish the earth, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. You have to, refill the earth. You have to do it because one generation come. Give me that one too. One generation comes, another generation goes, but the earth abideth forever. Let me see if I can help you. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away.
Right? One generation passeth away. That happens. You have your parents' generation, my parents' generation. This is not the generation now. Ryan today, Ryan puts on the internet today, hey, there's nothing new, man. Everything is recycled. I'm seeing the same thing over again. That's like, brother, that just means you're getting older. That ain't a revelation. You know what I mean? The generation that he thought was young is now an older generation. Now this generation is passing by. And for him, he's watching the whole thing. He can't believe that he's seeing the same thing he saw before. And that's just life. One generation passeth away because that's how life is. The parents' generation, at one time, they were young and they were groovy and they were the hip crowd. They were the cool dudes. And then your parents started complaining about hip hop. Right. You understand? This? What's that hip hop? What is that nonsense? What is they talking about? Look how they're dressing. Look what they're talking about. And then now, that young generation who was into that early hip hop is now complaining about the mumble rap when all it just means is, nigga, you're getting old. That's all. Just take your meds and shut your mouth. You're old. That's just how life is. You're going to age out. You're going to, what you used to. Your body has rhythm. You know what I mean? There's certain rhythms your body used to. You can't get with the ounce music. You know what I mean? You can't do none of that shit. You can't get with the ounce music. You need some bass. You need to hear some Method Man. The generation before would have need to hear some, the long 13-minute intro with the instrumental before the nigga even start singing. Yeah, I mean, they hear the song, them old people in the damn cooker. Oh, that's my song. And you're like, well, what song? And then about, 15 minutes later, the intro's still going. But that was their generation. You get the point? And that's what it is. One generation passeth. Right, pick it up for him, Bukwash.
One generation.
What's up, little man? You all good? They're looking like they want to take over the class. Right. Read one more time, man.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh.
Mm-hmm.
But the earth abideth forever.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. Meaning what? That older generation, they're going to pass away. You understand? Or I don't want to say just the older generation. If Christ ain't back, even when Christ's back, this generation is going to pass. Another generation is going to come. You get the point? There's a generation. A generation means what? A group of contemporaries. You ever hear the word contemporary? No sweat. Look it up. Just look up contemporary. All right, contemporary gonna give you the full scope of the whole thing. Somebody's phone is on the edge of the chair. Yeah, grab it thing so it don't fall. All right. Let's look up contemporary. All right.
Contemporary, marked by characteristics of the present period.
Right, marked by characteristics of the present period, meaning Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And who else was from that era? Charles Barkley. They could be called contemporaries. You get the point? Shaq and LeBron is not contemporaries. Even though they played at the same time, they're not, you can't consider them contemporaries because Shaq was past his prime when young LeBron was in. You get the point? It's like that. It's Iverson and Kobe closer then. You get the point? Kobe and Michael Jordan, they're not contemporaries. You get the point? Like marked by the present time, like those who played around the same time, those who came in around the same time, those who grew up together. I'm thinking that was another way brothers and sisters describe it. Your class reunion, your high school reunion, or whatever you go to, right? All of y'all coming back in there at 40-something years old. You spent the last 3 months in the gym or trying to detox so you look good to impress a ton of people you don't like. They're your contemporaries. You coming back in, you walking in the same halls with the same bully, with the same geek, with the same sports jock, with the same hoe, with the same this one, with the same that one. And everybody is there, even though they're older and they have kids and they're paying a mortgage. But really, they're back in high school again because they're contemporaries. You get the point? So that generation that's going past is the contemporary. You get the point? Read on way here.
That was the end of the verse. From the top.
Please.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
Right. So Pagaibo, so one gonna pass, one gonna be here, and that's what they're into, and then the generation passes. You get the point? That generation is gone. Then the next generation steps into the play. You get the point? And they're gonna reach that stage where now they're gonna be next to go. You get the point? If you have parents or grandparents, you would hear them talk about how their friends would die. And usually the last ones be the most depressed because they done been to enough funerals because all their friends just dying. That generation is past. You get the point? So now to counteract that, the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Like reproduce. Bring them right back. They died, they're gone. That generation is the generation that was before. They're older. But guess what? Now you have young babies. You're holding that came from a time before you. Go ahead.
So you're saying I need to get to work?
I'm not saying that. I think that's a personal decision. You ain't gonna come and have me in council say, he told me go make baby. It's a lock here. You get the point? But that's it. That's basically what it is, which is why against the children of Israel, abortion is so it's made to be so enticing to us. It's made to be, so appetizing. That's the best way to put it. Like to call it abortion, to call it Planned Parenthood, to call it reproductive health, is to entice you into going against replenishing the earth. You get the point? It's enticing. It's a seductive language where you're not calling it what it is. So now you feel way more comfortable doing whatever it is. You get the point? It's put against us so much because the Lord told us to go and replenish the earth. This is damn near like a duty. You get the point? It's damn near like, you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go ahead and bring forth children. The Lord don't want us like our oppressors where, they do statistics and have the perfect family must have 1.5 children or 2-point-something children. And what the hell is point-something of a child? Go ahead.
Yeah, so please help.
Come on.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 7. For I would that all men were even as myself, as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of God. One after this manner, and another after that. What Paul.
Okay, break it down. How you mean?
What Paul was talking about, I would, it's probably better if you don't have a wife. You can have a wife, but if you don't, some men don't. You don't have to, and that's a gift of God. That's a gift from God because all men can't do that.
Okay, how you related to this one though with replenishing?
No, I was just saying what he was talking about. He's talking about how people get to work.
Oh, because you already have a boy and all that. He already have a son and all that. He just want more. He just want more of him. That's all. He want more. He already started the chain rolling. Yeah, I mean, he want more. Okay, this is no that precept is not good for this. That precept is more so for what Paul was saying as he was building the schools. As he was building the schools and he was observing, which y'all would see and y'all would go through, where young brother or young sister come in the school, their focus is the work of the Lord. Their focus is the high holy days. Their focus is camps. Their focus is, taking ground. And then one day she come in with a little bit more weight on her in the right places. Yeah, forgot about no. He's like, yeah, boy. One day she come in there looking at you. Don't remember that Shalom have a little bit more bounce in it than before. You don't remember that, and then you start noticing her, and then she start noticing you, and then all of a sudden, your brother, you ready to go to camp? I'm unclean, so Salakia. You get the point? Says, what's going on with the food for the high holiday? Oh, snap, Salakia. So and so I had to do this for my husband. And Paul is noticing that as they come together, they're going to start to have cares for each other more than the work. And that's not a sin. That's what he was trying to bring forward. That it's not a sin. That's how life is. And what does he have to do? If it is that he might be losing manpower for camp or losing help with his sisters because of the marriages and stuff, what does he now have to do? If he was in class from the beginning, what does he now have to go do? He now has to replenish. That's all. He just had to go and find more sisters and more brothers. Can you stop people from marrying? Hell no. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish. But as that happens, as that generation passes and matures, you're going to need youth to come in and pick up for the work to carry on. You get the point? So what he was saying in that particular one there is sometimes it's good to not marry, because now you could find yourself in an unbalanced situation because of the euphoria of quote unquote love, or what you think love is. You get the point? You could be so caught, you just caught up in a whole world when like you floating on air, like, whatever, and shit ain't getting done. You get the point? So he's saying it's better, but not everybody has that gift to just continue without wanting to. You get the point? And to continue without wanting to is extremely difficult, because you're gonna have to continue without wanting, and it's hard to understand. It's like, and does anybody in here not drink at all? Okay. You're almost to that point. Okay, okay. Nobody in here smokes. Now, somebody in the world, they can't eat lunch and not have a cigarette after. They can't get in an argument. They can't watch a sports game that their favorite team losing. They had to light up. You don't feel like smoking at all. You don't even, damn, I need to go. Man, if I had one now, I would light up. That feeling is foreign from you. You get the point? Or if it's not foreign yet, it's going to get foreign. To them, that's not foreign. They sit there and they want to light up. Now, take that same scenario and put it with marrying. And some people, it's just like, I ain't even thinking about nothing. I don't care. Yeah, whatever. I just do some push-ups, start cleaning the house. I ain't even thinking about getting some tail. And then there's somebody else who is Salaki said, yeah, this is too much. I can't understand it. Or sister, Salakia, blah, 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 blah. It's too much. They need to marry. So that's why he said, nevertheless, let them marry. But then there's some people who is, the marriage is not like they're scorning it or anything. It's not that pressing for them. It's not a pressing thing for them. And because of that, their energy could be totally pushed into the work of the Lord. There's no distraction. There's no extra. There's no nothing. There's nothing that keeping them, not focused from the task that's at hand. You get the point? So that's what that scripture is talking about. That's different to the replenish part. You get the point? If a brother wants to marry, wants to have children, he may not have a rib right now, that does not apply to him because he wants to marry. You get the point? He wants, he in the morning, he waking up, he's strong as shit because he ain't married yet. He gonna go get some ribs. You get the point? It's different. That one is not the same. All right. Pugad, you understand?
Yeah, I understand. So go on.
Okay. Anything else?
So there's a question online.
Mm-hmm.
Question from Trooper Coral Lacombe from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Says, Shalom, Yahweh. Can I get a breakdown of 1 Corinthians 11 and 14?
Okay.
It's 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, is it a shame unto him?
Okay, no sweat. Let's read up. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Let's read up. Where we going? Where he at? 14? 11? Salaki.
That's like if I made one thing that I realized, because I had a couple people that actually Bible books that work that put a scripture. They used to say that you can't get the truth because you have long hair, but they don't understand that was a question when you read that scripture.
Well, that's what we're gonna get into. You get the point? And they not in the truth telling you can't be in the truth. That's the bigger issue. Like whoever they are, they're not in here. So they definitely, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is what we're gonna go into today with the power of the tongue, the shit that's said, doctrine, stuff like that. Where we at again?
1 Corinthians 11 and 14.
To what? 11 and 40. I think you need to skip up to verse 11.
Verse 11. Nevertheless, neither is a man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. Verse 12. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. But all things of God. 13. Judge in yourselves. Is it comely that a woman?
Comely.
Is it comely?
What verse you at now?
13.
Okay, hold on. Okay, no, skip up to verse 4.
This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 4. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. Verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
Okay, so what's that saying? Come
on. Like what we do now, like when you see us when we outside teaching and we have the covers on our head, we have the hole in it. So that most high we don't have our head covered.
Right.
For the sisters when they prophesy.
Why you letting the most high know that you don't have your head covered?
Remember the center of our head is the crown, if I'm correct.
That's true. But why are you doing that? Why do you expose the crown of your head?
I'm throwing off because I'm thinking about the sisters because I know you can't shame yourself with the sisters, but that's why they cover their head. But for the males, it's like you've been direct with the Most High.
Not that part. Not that part. Something else. Come on.
Because the Most High is our cover.
The Most High is our head, right? He's our head, and you would dishonor your head if you keep your head covered. You get the point? So now in all our headpieces, whether it's a mitri like what I'm wearing, which is in the scriptures, it's called a tire. So you imagine you take a tire and you put it on your head, the crown will be exposed. Or the headpieces like what the brothers wear, the war scarves or the headbands, the top of your head is open. You get the point? This is open because your head is the Most High. He's not there. You can't look and see him. Your head is uncovered. For a woman, her head is who? You. She had to cover her head. She can walk in the room and see you. She has to humble herself. You get the point? Just think like a lion. A lion has a mane. A lioness does not have a mane. You get the point? Like his own is out. Her own is not. You understand what I'm saying? Her own is this, that it ain't there, but it's like showing that's covered. It's covering that glory. You understand what I'm saying? Her glory is her hair. That thing had to be covered because her man he's around. He's around, which is why you can tell a woman who is unkept. Why? Because you could see everything. You could see everything. Not so much that her hair is uncovered, because it's not saying that a woman can't walk around with her head uncovered, but it's because she doesn't have that humble spirit, that spirit of humility. You could see everything, not just her hair. You could see everything. You get the point? It's a certain spirit that the Lord is putting on a man and putting on a woman. You get the point? Where we at? Right? Read verse 5 again.
Come, verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all as if she were shaven.
That is all as if it's the same as if she were shaven. Now, if she was shaven, what is it? If she was shaven, what is that considered? It's a shame. It's a shame. That's why Jada Pinkett got mad at Chris Rock, because you're bald-headed broad, right? It's the same as if she was shaven. It's a shameful thing to be a shameful broad. That's the spirit of it. It's not saying that if her head isn't covered, she's ashamed, because of course there's times when a woman's head will be uncovered. You get the point? When, of course, praying or prophesying, you're in class, you're hearing a speaking, you're there to learn, you're there to receive, you have to cover your head. You get the point? But in the spirit of it, it's a shameless woman. A woman who's she got no shame. It's the same as a woman who shave her head bald. You know, with a shaven head, it's to embarrass her. What's the proof of that? That the shaving of the head is to embarrass the woman. I want the proof.
I was going to say Isaiah 3, because the Lord had cursed certain sisters with the shame. Okay,
well that's okay. He made them bald, the hair can't grow, not shaven. You see, that's what it says here, right? It was even all as one, as if she was shaven. Imagine you take a sister and sit her down and shave her head. How is she going to take it? She's going to lose it. It's going to be, and then afterwards, was she going to go out and let everybody see her bald head like Doja Cat? Or she's going to do what? She going to get a hat. She going to tie it up. She going to get a weave. She going to do something to cover it until that joker grow. Go ahead.
Sorry, is it the law of the concubine?
That's it. That's it. The law of the concubine. Pull it for me if you don't know what I'm talking about. All right, just so for anybody who may be confused. What is a concubine? Go ahead.
So a concubine is when Israel goes to war with itself, and the men are killed off, and the widows that are left in the city doesn't have any protection. So the conquering would then take the woman as a concubine or wife.
So a concubine is what?
A woman whose husband was conquered.
No, I ain't gonna give you that one.
A spoiled war.
That's okay. I'll take that.
It's an Israelite woman who's on a less class than your wife.
I wouldn't even say less class.
Concubine is a woman whose Israelite husband died during war.
No, because it doesn't have to be that she was married before. It doesn't have to be like that.
Israelite woman who has no covenant. What is?
It's a wife you get from war versus
a wife you get
from
heritage, from the father.
From her father. That's what a concubine is. This is a wife. I had to kill her father. This is a wife. I had to go sit down and negotiate a price with her father. Now, when you go back home to your land, you're going to have more than one wife. You have to shave the head of the one who you got in war and cut her nails down. Why?
Because she's filthy from the war.
No. No. God damn. Shit. Good night. You don't kill her father, you're gonna call her filthy too. Shit.
It's a humble that one.
Not okay. Yes, but okay. This is more so to signify that this woman is not the woman I negotiated and paid for. It's different. This one here I got from war, and everybody gonna know it because she gonna be walking around with that bald head. She not gonna be as flashy because them long nails is gone. The things that would make a sister, you get the point? And she flashy and she just marries. Now you're going to marry her. You're going to have to, not so much to humble her, but you're going to bring it down a tier so everybody know this is the one I got from the negotiation, from, I paid for. This is the other one I had to kill for, right? Now her hair is not going to stay bald. It's just in the beginning, you have to shave it off. You got to cut her hair. And okay, this is to somebody listening now, it sounds brutal, but this is not that's not the normal reaction to our culture. Right. She knows that if this happened, if her not necessarily tribe, if her area where she lives, her city gets overrun, she knows the Lord is against her city. You get the point? Because right here in Deuteronomy, before they was giving you what happens if you find a dead body somewhere in the field, and they was running down the whole protocol of how to find the murderer. And if the murderer is found in this, they check the closest city to the body and then go further out. And they figure out where the murderer is. Now, after they jump to the law, the concubine, why? Because where that murderer is, if them leaders don't give him up, everybody else have to attack that city. Everybody else had to wage war with that city. Why? Who knows why?
So, like I said, you said if the leaders don't show up,
if they don't give him up.
Oh God, because you are supporting what he did
to put the evil away from among you.
Right.
So now, when we come through on that city, it's not just to kill him; it's to kill you because you was feeding him. Right. It's to kill you because you didn't open your mouth. It's to burn this city down so all the other cities know that this shit cannot go on in Israel. Now, if as you going through and you fight in the war, and of course, because the city at this point will fight back, they ain't gonna just say, yeah, we wicked. No, I ain't had nothing to do with that. You should have said something. You should have opened your mouth and said something. Like our laws raise the moral standard, the moral responsibility of Israel. It raises it. You can't just know something going on and ain't say nothing. That's why the Christian church is how it is. Right. Nobody don't say nothing about nothing. So now as you going through and there's a war and they're fighting, she might go hide. She might go cover herself with hay under the damn donkeys. She might jump in the well. And now you kill everybody. You lean over to go and drink. She come up for air. You see that thing. You be like, come on, sis. Come on. Come on. You pull her out. She cussing you, whatever. Okay, don't kill everybody. Or she's vexed because she had to take that L because she grew in that city. What's she going to do now? She better roll with her, wherever. And as now they're bringing all the survivors back to this other city, usually they're going to probably go into slavery. And not the slavery like our oppressor, they would go into think like Job Corps or ROTC. Think like that, where it ain't nobody in beating you and whipping you and hanging you. Right. But you got to be up in the morning to go, clean this. You know what I mean? You're gonna work it off until you could, find your way back into society. You get the point? You're gonna be an employee to somebody or some sister. And now you're bringing them back and you're looking at her walking in that damn caravan. You'll be like, boy, it's a shame that city had a parent. The Lord works in mysterious ways. And you give her 40 days to mourn her father. And you might bring her some, fresh venison or some wine or something, whatever you brothers do to, entice her. And listen, you ready to go marry this girl, you're going to have to cut her hair. And you're going to have to trim her nails. And if she's smart, she'll do it so she could survive. So she could live later on. This is, that's a small situation. This is just so that this woman here, I didn't pay for her to kill for her. This other one here, or these other ones here, I paid their father. You get the point? Go ahead.
I have that in Deuteronomy.
Please, sir.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman.
Right, and this is Deuteronomy 21 and 1?
21, and this started at 10. It's 11, right?
21 and 10. Okay. So when you read further up, it gives you the whole protocol for a murder case. All right. So now to go into 10 when you go to war against the enemies. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. Verse 13. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity.
Salaki, give me one of you brothers who good with the Hebrew. Give me the enemy in verse 10. 21 and 10. Just give me the word enemy. Was the Hebrew word, and what does it mean? Or enemies. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
Right, she shall put the raiment of captivity from off of her or on her? From
off her.
Right, so meaning what she was wearing when she was taken, she had to take that off. So she's not gonna come in there all fly and shit. She's conquered now. She had to, put on something else. You get the point? Go ahead.
And she shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
Right? She got a full month to, mourn the loss of her parents. That's a definite tragic loss, especially in that type of way. That type of way where he's like, well, we ain't got shit to do with it. You could be living northwest. The shit happened down southeast on the border of Maryland. You're going to die, nigga. Right. And you ain't got nothing to do with whatever happened up there. You probably didn't even know. But this is what happened. This is why you have to have good leaders. This is why you have to press the righteousness of the Lord, or else that's what Daniel did in the Apocrypha of the History of Susanna. He opened his mouth and said something. You get the point? It's rough, so she's gonna need time to adjust. She's gonna need time to accept it in her spirit. You give her a month. You get the point? And she's gonna have things there. Don't think, slavery like Esau, or the captive like Esau. She's gonna be able to, eat and drink and bathe herself, and she's gonna be able to do things. You get the point? And go ahead.
And after that, thou shalt go in unto her.
Right? And after that, that's when you are allowed to go to try to marry this girl, right? This does not say you're just going to go in there and rape the girl. That's not marriage. You get the point? That's when you have permission to go onto her. That's what it's saying. Right? But for some people who slow in the spirit, you have to spell the shit out, right? So that would be your concubine. And of course, does it say where you shave her head?
That was in verse 12, sir.
Right, so it says shave her head and pare her nails. It's to, it's going to be a shame. It's going to take it down a little more. It's not this is not a a glorious thing where you pay for her and you have a wedding party and people drinking and celebrating this union. This is something else. This was blood. You get the point? Now give me the enemies. You have it?
It's I.S.U.P.K.
Mm-hmm.
It is the active biblical usage, enemy, qual, personal National.
A national. What does that mean? A personal national. Personal or national?
I mean, someone that's within your nation.
Exactly.
Your family.
All right. So when idiots talk about your enemies is your oppressor, your oppressor is not personal to you.
Right.
Neither is he your national. You don't take shit personal. He does. That's why Eminem is the greatest rapper, right? Because it's just facts, right? The fact is he do it better than black people. It's not personal, right? So then he's not your enemy. You get the point? You understand what I'm saying? He's not your enemy. But when Boosie and NBA Youngboy beefing, well, that shit personal because that's your brother. You get the point? The enemies here is not the oppressor. It's not the daughters of the oppressor. The enemies in this instance is if somebody from a nation, not a nation, city from the 12 tribes of Israel that done fell on the wrong side of the law, and this is their judgment. And this activity is in our spirit today because why? When one block kill the next block ride the next day and shoot up every goddamn thing. This is how we operate normally. So now let's go back to not saying it's right to go shoot up the block. I'm just saying that's how we would do things with justice. All right. Let's go back now to 1 Corinthians 11. So now it's the same as if she was shaven, because that's where it comes from. Like her not having humility. That's what the spirit of it is. A sister that's humble. She has a certain amount of humility. She doesn't mind covering her head. Some proud ass monster, you tell her cover her head, she gonna say, why? I don't need to do what the hell you tell me to do, and start a turkey neck and snap her fingers and clap and do all kind of dumb shit. And that should let you know what? Walk away.
Right.
Walk away. You got it. I'm gonna catch this Uber. Where you going? To find a cover. To find somebody who will cover their head. Right. You get the point? So it's more so for humility. All right. Give me verse 6.
1 Corinthians 11:6. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn.
So now it's saying if you don't want to cover yourself, let her be shorn. Let her hair be cut. Right. If she don't want to cover herself, she don't want to be humble, then be on Front Street then. Which is now where in the spirit you get the curses that brother was talking about in Isaiah. Right? In Isaiah, the Lord say, the daughters of Israel are haughty. So I'm going to smite the crown of their head with a scab. Right. So in that spirit, it's, to shame them. You get the point? Keep reading.
But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. So now
it's the argument of it. He's making the point. He said, now, if you don't want to cover your head, then come here, let me cut your hair off. A woman would be like, nah, you ain't cutting my hair off. So you don't want your hair to cut off then. Why you don't want to cut your hair? Man, I like my hair. I don't want to walk around looking like no nigga. Well, then you should cover your hair. Right. So I'll know you're not a nigga. Right. Because right now I can't tell. You get the point? Right now I can't tell. So if you don't want to walk around looking like, like Dennis Rodman, then put that scarf on and tie it in the back here and tuck it on so I could look and be like, oh nah, that's a sister, man. You see that head scarf with the little frills on the top? You know, there's tie the hair and let the little puff come out, or you see the little curls here or something, and you'll be like, she got good here. Shalom, sis, what's going on? She trying to make eye contact with you. You looking behind the air to see what's there. You're trying to see, like, you're watching the head wrap to see if it had any depth in that shit. You get the point? You're trying to investigate because she's so humble with the shit. She ain't letting on too much. That's what he was trying to bring forth. All right. So that's what he's saying. If she don't want to cover her head, then she should just be shaven and walk around like a nigga then. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 6. That's like verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God.
You understand? A man, he don't have to cover his head because he is the image and the glory of the Most High. Right. Once again, take a lion and a lioness. You see him coming down with that big mane. Like, okay, he's the lion. Right. The lioness don't have it. You get the point? Just think like that. Go ahead.
But the woman is the glory of the man.
But she is your glory. She should be in your image. It should mean in what? You in the Most High's image. You in Christ's image. And it's coming all the way down. Meaning how you think is how above you thinks. How you dress is how above. What you eat is how it comes down. She should be following after your spirit. That's how. That's the relationship he's building here. It's going to take humility to do the thing. You get the point? You're going to have to recognize that you're going to have to bend your will to the Most High. You get the point? You're going to have to bend to him. She has to bend her will to yours. She has to be like, he liked this thing here. I had to go with this thing here. This is how he likes it. This is how he wants me to dress. This is how he wants me to do this thing. Now, with that, you're going to get the wisdom, because now a brother, because he is his, he's in the image of the Most High. I remember in the beginning of this chapter, Paul said, Christ is the head of every man. The man is the head of every woman. So now he's bringing down the structure. You're going to have men over you that's going to give you what? Wisdom with how to deal with her. So now for anybody listening, thinking this is some kind of Gestapo, dictatorship, it is, but it's on the right-hand side. Meaning, I don't want her looking like some Muslim terrorist. I want her looking like something I want to go home and remarry every night. Right. Why would I dress her like, a cardboard box? But she's not going to dress like a hoe, though. Right. You get the point? Right. That's what it is. You get the point? That's what he's saying. Hold on. Now I'm gonna sing it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stay on the square.
No sweat, son.
What's today's mathematics? Nah, no sweat. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading.
Verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
Right? Once again, he's breaking down order. He's breaking down how to have things decently and in order. And it's going to require a certain amount of humility on both parties' side. It's going to require that. You get the point? The man is not of the woman is of the man, and the man is of the Lord. So it's like you got to bend your will to him. She should bend her will to you. That's just how it should go. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
Right? Where everybody knows that from where? Adam and Eve. Right? Eve was not brought into the truth. Adam wasn't brought into the truth for Eve. Right. But Eve was brought in for Adam. Right. As Adam come into the truth, and he, the Lord is able to use him for whatever. The Lord looking at Adam and being like, this brother need a rib. Right. He needs something to help him out. You know what I mean? He helping me out. This brother need a rib. Let me wake this sister up. Boom. And then she started listening to the Lord, and she comes in and she notices him. And before long, they get married. Right. You get the point? Okay. But she was brought in for him, for his help, right, to assist him. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 10. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head, because of the angels.
All right. So now for this cause, the woman is to have power on her head because of the angels. What does that say? Come on.
That's how the angels know if she's being righteous or not. If she's following her head, doing what she's supposed to. Got her head covered, following her head.
For this cause, she ought to have power on her head. Give me that pass first.
It's not just to have her head covered.
Yeah, we ain't breaking it down. I'm breaking it down for you.
Like she's following in the spirit of her head, her husband.
So what? And having power on her head means what? And that shows what?
I want to say obedience or something like.
You see, you got to be bold with the shit out. Come on now.
I was going to say it shows obedience and that she's following her husband.
It shows she has power on her head, meaning it's probably an old say. You ever hear somebody say, I ain't gonna let woman say, I'm not gonna let him run my head? You never heard that saying before? Oh, what yours? That might be a Benjamin thing. What do you all say? I ain't gonna let you be the boss of me.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way. Benjamites, them women say, yeah, you can't run my head. That's a say. To run your head, meaning like I tell your head where to go and what to do. Right? You're not the boss of me, but you wear the McDonald's hat. So who's your boss? Right? You put on that Walmart hat and that Walmart badge. Why you wear the Walmart hat? Because I work for Walmart. Why you wear you're in the nurse, you're in the you wear the scrubs and you cover your head when you're going in to deal with the patients? Why are you covering your head? Oh, because it's sanitary. No, that's not why. Because you work in there and that's what they say to do. Why you're a woman, you wearing you're security, you wear the little dumb security hat. Why you wearing that, something security ink hat? Why? Because you're getting paid? No, because you work for them and they tell you, put this on when you're here and you obey them. It's to show power on her head because she has power, she has authority. In other words, she has a man, which is what you are to her. Power and authority, that's what you're supposed to be, which is why this world invests so much money to take away man's power and his authority and the image of him being powerful. The whole image of a man being powerful and in authority, it's life-changing. You understand? It's a life-changing thing, and they would take that away. That's why they made Killmonger such a rough cat in that movie, like just inconsiderate. He shot the girl who was with him all the time. He choked up the grandmother and said, there's the last king. Hey, auntie, real, like insubordinate. They made him like that. Why? Because a black man with power, he had to be an asshole. You get the point? But that old T'Challa, he afraid of the box, the girl going and doing whatever the hell she wants. He doesn't have power over her. The little sister telling him any old thing she wants. You don't have power over none of that shit. You know what I mean? They both cussing each other out. The mother check him. You get the point? Like this world, it invests so much money to make sure you don't have the image of power. You look at what's the other one with the black dude with the wings? Who's Captain America's sidekick? That one with I forget Mackie. You ever notice his roles? He always like a number two. Yeah, that's by design. Kevin Hart is always he's not in charge of the whole thing. The Rock is racially ambiguous, so they let him get a certain amount of power and authority. Right. But anytime you straight up and down look like you come from the hood, you're not getting no lead ass role like that, brother. Right. Come on.
So like, if I could, that pisses me off because his father is a nigga, and his mother is a Samoan. And when he first came into wrestling, he had the Samoan persona and it went nowhere. He changed to nigga and he became the Rock. Because he got all his swag from the nigga.
Remember, he didn't want to follow his father. His father wanted him to wrestle. He wanted to play football. Get a point. So that's a whole other thing. But here is you have a certain amount of power on your head. If you're a woman, if you're married, even if you're unmarried, it's just the practice of being humble. It's the practice of humility, which we enforce in here all the way down. And it's just going to naturally flow into your marriage. Now, you walking around the house, your husband, he likes your head covered, cover your head. Now, you want to uncover your hair sometimes, and he don't want it. You're a woman. The Lord bless you with certain feminine guys. Dim the lights and show him what could happen if that headscarf come off. I bet you he makes some amendments to that constitution. He gonna be like, okay, after 6, you can take that shit off, right? Where we at? What verse we at?
We're at verse 10. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels.
Right, because of the angels. Because the angels is taking note as to how she behaves with this brother. You get the point? As to how she runs with this brother, how she rolls. The angels is watching all that shit. You get the point? He's watching all that shit because why? The angels is also watching you. Right. You get the point? The angels is also watching you, what you doing. But they're watching her too. Right. You understand? It's letting her know she need to be humble. She need to, need to cut it back a little bit in her mind. All right, keep going.
Verse 11. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman,
Mm-hmm.
neither the woman without the man in the Lord.
Right, so that's where we are now, right? This is where the brother wanted 11 to 14 or something. That's why I skipped up to. So you say, nevertheless, even though there's this dynamic of the Most High Christ, man, you some fault somewhere within man, and the woman, because this is your woman. Even though you have that hierarchy and that dynamic, one is not without the other. Meaning what? Back to Pagaibo in the beginning, be fruitful and multiply. That woman needs that man needs that woman. You get the point? McDonald's would be nothing if you didn't show up. But that relationship is understood because of the money, because of the instant gratification. That union of marriage or just functioning within a family, there's no instant gratification. A lot of the work, you see it years later. And it's hard to appreciate it if you're not grown in the right way. You get the point? So he's saying, nevertheless, even though one is over the other, one has power over the other, one has authority over the other, one is required to be loyal to the other one. One is required to be, both is required to be loyal. One is required to be, what's the word I want? To yield to the other one. One is required to yield to the other one. One is required to submit to the other one. One is required to, want to function and do. Your desire shall be to your husband. Even though that the man is not without the woman, meaning you can't do nothing without your sisters. You get the point? And sisters, you can't do nothing without the brothers. Right? It's not, you can't go separate ways. You can't do none of that shit. It will never, ever work out. That's how the heathens operate, though. Go ahead. Come on, let me hear it quick.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. If they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. For woe to him that is alone when he falls. Right?
That's also good for brotherhood, but for sure within marriage. The other one, listen, the better one for that is it's right there where they say the place cold and hold on. Read it. What verse you at?
Verse 11. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat.
If two lie together, they got heat, huh? They got heat, because you ain't need Pepco, Washington gas. You got heat if you all lie together. Yeah, I mean? You got, listen, you up in that old big old house, the heat running, but I bet cold. You think you're lonely now? Wait until tonight. Practicing. You got your point? Read it one more time.
Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
How could one be warm alone? That's better for this one here. Just to put it in the right, in the right. The other one is like, see, we're a team. If you don't, I pull you up. And if I don't, you all right, cool. What's going on tonight, though?
Right.
What's going on tonight? You gonna turn it up? In fact, drop that AC down to 54, because that room gonna be hot. That room gonna have some heat coming through because two lie together. The man is not without the woman is not without the man. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 12. For as the woman is of the man, even so is a man also by the woman. But all things of God.
Right. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man by the woman. But all things of the Most High. What does that mean? You mean black woman is God? No. Black woman is God. Black woman is God. Dumb Negroes. Come on, Pagaiwa.
It's how life is made.
Simple enough, right? The woman is not without the man, and the man is by the woman. You get the point? You're going to need her to make men. You replenish the earth. Nevertheless, everything comes from the Most High. The Most High is all this belongs to him. You get the point? Keep reading.
Verse 13. Judging yourselves, Is it comely that a woman pray unto God uncovered?
No. After all that we just went through, you tell me, judging yourselves, is it tawab for her to just be a proud ass monster? That's really what it means when you say pray uncovered. Is it tawab for her to just be just a, just out there, we outside type broad? You get the point? Is it tawab for her to be like that? No. Because we can't lie together and make no warmth. We can't make no children. We can't do nothing. I can't fall and you pull me up. If you fall, I sure ain't pulling you up because you're a proud ass monster. You get the point? Judging yourselves. Is it tawab for her to be unhumble, to be proud? That's what it means to pray without her head covered. She's proud. Right. You get the point? That's the spirit. That's what we all understand. What he's saying here. The spirit of it. Now, does that mean if Lord forbid this ever happened, your rib going to the store and she pull it down and the car come behind and the brothers jump out with the gun, she can't cry on the Lord. She had to go look for a scarf to tie up first. No, that doesn't mean that. Which is, once again, this is talking about in the spirit of it. Right. You understand? In the spirit of everything. Right. It's talking about her having that humility. And that humility will make her do what? She walk in on a class or something happen and the scripture is being broken down by the priest who is recognized. She's going to cover her head because she's a humble sister. She's showing humility and she's in the image of her husband. She don't want nobody going back and say, Salakia, brother, that girl you got, that's your rib. That's what brothers do for this. They're trying to ease into it. Right. They know it's a rib, they know it is. Be like, Salakia, that's sister's son. Yeah. That's your rib? You sure? You want with it? Oh yeah, that's her. Well, Salakia, she was so and so. They come and gave the report of how she was acting out of order, and it's because this is not happening. It's not. There's no power on her head. Think power. Think like lifting a weight with your head. Right. After a while, you can't stay upright and proud. You do what? That thing's all about. You ain't got no energy to do no shit because shit on your head. You ain't got no energy to be outside. You ain't got no, free. You ain't got energy for that shit because there's power on your head. There's power on your head. And you could look and tell, okay, she's kept. This is a kept woman. And she got a man now. You see how she dresses, see how she moves, she humble. Yeah, she more than likely she got a man. Right. You get the point? She definitely got a nigga. Listen, man, soon you're gonna be up here, man. Don't worry about it. You got the right spirit, man. Back to class over Tasha.
It's like what you said is so heavy, sir. Like a woman that won't even have the humility to hear the scriptures and cover her head, she won't pay tithes. She won't be loyal.
She won't learn nothing. Right. She's not covering means she's not listening. Right. She's not humble. Right. So she can't hear nothing. She can't learn. Right. So of course everything you're saying is right there. She ain't paying no goddamn tithes. Right. She ain't, she ain't obeying the law. She ain't doing nothing because she ain't humble. Right. But if she go to a slave and fill up on that hat and in here you can't smoke, she's not gonna smoke in there. Right. Get the point? Right. If it says get here at 6:45, she's gonna be there at 6:43. She's gonna break every goddamn red light act. Yep. She's gonna break it and count how much tickets she got to pay in about 21 days. She's going to do it because she had to get there for that. She's going to humble down for that. You're going to humble down for that whole thing. But you gotta understand, like, you go get a woman in the world, brother. When you talk to her, she don't see you. She sees the image that she's seen from, I don't know. I'm gonna get to you, sucker, from all the way back then. She see the image on TV of black men forever. When you talk to her, that's what she's looking at. You understand? Right. And when you talk to her, what are you seeing? Not in here as a brother in here, but I'm talking about in the world. When you talk to a sister in the world, what are you seeing as you looking at her? Well, not FREE. You seeing that there's some holes in this house. You looking at her through the image of exactly. That's you already know. Yeah. In your mind, all that mess you talking, yeah, whatever. You in school, this, that, shit. You coming home tonight? That's really what it is. Right. This gives a different perspective this gives the right, the right lens to look at things through.
Right.
That sister should look at you like power and authority coming through. And boy, if she could get you to notice her life will change. You get the point? And you had to look at, is she a sister or is she just a woman? Is she, is she a sister or she just, she got female anatomy. She identifies as a woman, but is she a sister?
Right.
And you observe her for a while and you say, okay, she over there cooking. She has, how is she with these kids? Mm-hmm. Let me see how she talked to these other sisters over here. Yeah. Okay. So you want anything to eat? Yeah, let me get a burger and something. And she come back with it. I didn't want that. Let me see how she reacts. Oh, no sweat. Ain't no sweat. I'll bring something. Boy. Hey, who's I can't believe that. But nowadays, you go on Facebook. You're like, yeah, that's her.
You're right.
Yeah, that's her. That's her right there. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, please get going on. All right. Let's get our last words.
Verse 14. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, is it a shame unto him?
Right. Does not nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Meaning, if this brother here grows to whichever point, is that a shame unto him? Is it a shame for him to have any type of hair? It's a question he's asking.
Right.
So that's why I say does not nature itself teach you that if this brother has long hair, it is a shame unto him? Meaning what? If his hair only grows there or his hair grows longer, is it now become a shameful thing to him? No. But her hair being cut off is a shameful thing.
Right.
So she should cover her head. You get the point? She should cover her head. A ton of fake Israelites read this part here and say, see, a man ain't supposed to have long hair because it says it's a shame unto him. They don't understand the context. Look at everything Paul just went through and then put this in to support why she should cover her head. But see, cut your hair. Look like a Boy Scout. No offense to anybody who have low hair, but that's by choice or nature. That's not somebody's forcing you to have a low hair. You get the point? Your hair grows by nature wherever it grows. Wherever it stops, that's where it stops.
Right.
You could pray to the Lord. You could, get the the mayonnaise, the eggs, the conditioner, mix something up and put it in and think somehow you're gonna wake up in the morning like you from the Amazon. Right. That shit ain't gonna work, but you're gonna smell funny. That shit ain't gonna work. You're gonna go and do all kind of shit just to try and get them things to grow more. But that's by nature where your hair is. Now, is that a shame to you if somebody else's hair is longer? No, that's just how it is for you.
Right.
But for a woman, if she does cut her hair off, if her hair is off, it is a shame.
Right.
So then she should cover her head. She should be humble. Because if she's not humble, it's best she just cut her hair off and be a man. Act like a nigga. You get the point? It's the spirit of it. That's really what it is. I hope the brother understands. I know it was a little bit long, but it's to get you to understand the spirit of what he's saying. The spirit of what he's saying is different. It's not what they're trying to say it is. You get the point?
Okay.
Come on.
There's a few comments online, if I could.
Right. Hold on 1 second. We're reading next 2 verses as well. Somebody get for me Absalom. Is it Absalom? Absalom, where he would pull his hair every year. All right. Come on, let me get the comment. Oh, no, give me the last 2 verses real quick.
Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, is a glory to her.
But if a woman has long hair, it's a glory to her, not a shame, as if she would have short hair. You get the point? Go ahead.
For her hair is given her for a covering.
For her hair is given to her for a covering, not the glory. Like a man, remember he said, you the glory of the Lord. Right. Even though a woman's hair is her glory for you. You understand?
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 16. But if any man seem to be contentious,
Mm-hmm.
we have no such custom, neither the churches of God.
Right, but if any man seem to be contentious, meaning you're contending, like you're arguing back. No, a man here must be short, and a woman don't have to cover her hair. We don't have them type of customs in following the Most High. We don't have a custom of a man here must be short. That's not our custom. It goes straight against what they're saying. If they're saying that verse 14 means a man here is supposed to be short. If any man seem contentious, we don't have them type of customs. How do I know? Give me Absalom.
Second Samuel.
What you holding? What's that one?
Absalom is Bible, compact Bible dictionary.
It have anything in there about hair?
I'll look through.
No sweat. Go ahead,
Second Samuel chapter 14, verse 25. But in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty.
In all Israel, there was none to be so much praise as Absalom for what?
For his beauty.
Absalom was shit. He was breezy up in here. He was U.S.H.E.R. He was that nigga. Right? That was one of David's sons. Right? He was that nigga. Go ahead.
From the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all could go out there and mess with these FREE. I want a broad who gonna look at me like that.
Right.
Like, God damn, nigga. From the sole of your feet to the crown of your head. Go ahead and cover that thing down, sis. Go ahead and cover that thing down. Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, what you're just saying is reiterating, how Israel is, because the oppressor claims this Adonis character was supposed to be the most beautiful person in the world.
First of all, Adonis was a faggot. He was a faggot. Adonis wasn't getting no meat. He was getting a different type of meat. He wasn't getting biblical meat. Right. But yeah, go ahead, Sulaki.
But the Bible is telling us that this dude was perfect from the crown of his head to the soles, and they was talking about how Solomon was, was a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But his brother
that was his son. Absalom was his son. No, that's David's son. Slakia, Solomon's brother. You're right. Slakia. Now, this is the spirit of what you want to get. This is elevating that brother with power and authority.
Right.
Which is how we are. You come to a Passover, brother. Yeah. You walk out, you thinking, I'm gonna kill them. Then you see a nigga, you be like, ooh, nigga, you killing them. And he watching you like, damn, where you get that shit from? And everybody is elevating a man to that power and glory, because once a brother is put in that right seat with the right mindset and the right teaching, everybody else is going to follow. It benefits the life of everybody else. Right. The reason why our communities is so downtrodden and so crime-ridden and, just fallen, is like a fallen state. They talk about the fallen state, talking about America. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we are in a fallen state, and it's because our men are not in the seat. Our brothers are not in the seat. Our brothers get in the seat because why? Our women been in the seat since what, the 60s? Who got the whole woman's lib and getting preferential treatment with the job market and the welfare and this, that, the other. Right. Our woman is in charge of goddamn near everything. Right. Is in charge of the households. Is in charge of our woman is so in charge. Barack Obama Michelle had to pay for him up until he was running for election. Like, this nigga was homeless and, all kind of shit. Right. And she was a big time lawyer. Yeah. And she was the one who was funding him into being, he was a senator?
Lawyer.
No, but it's his life into politics. They were both lawyers, but he wasn't working. Right. She was the one who was doing every goddamn thing. Right. It's showing you the position of our sisters and how is our community. Right. We got Oprah Winfrey. Is there a male equivalent to Oprah Winfrey? Ever? No. It's not. You're just not going to have that type of power and authority in this kingdom. But in the Bible, in the kingdom of heaven, in the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K, this is replenishing the earth. Right. You understand? It's replenishing the earth. That masculine spirit. That's why they say toxic masculinity. Really, what they want is to make sure every black man does not have the Holy Spirit. That's what they want. The Holy Spirit is what they describe as toxic masculinity. Right. You get the point? Because R. Kelly, for sure, he don't have toxic masculinity. right? They don't think his masculinity is a threat.
Right.
Give me somebody else who is in the media who is, you know, Michael Jackson. They didn't think his Prince. They didn't question his masculinity.
Right.
Say again. George Clinton. They don't question none of our stars' masculinity. You get the point? But the minute a man closes the door to what's outside, my children is not learning about this LGBTQ. Oh, you toxic. No, you're not leaving the house wearing that. Oh, you toxic. Who is them friends? I don't want you hanging out with. Oh, you toxic. Let the kids be kids. You toxic. That's the Holy Spirit. It's separate. Anytime you try to separate yourself from this kingdom, they say you're toxic.
Right.
It's crazy. Right? Where we at? With Absalom. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And when he polled his head, for it was at every year's end that he polled it.
Right? He pulled his hair. Go ahead.
Because the hair was heavy on him.
Because he had so much hair, brother. It was a weight on this brother's head and neck. Right. It was a weight. It was weighing him down. And he would pull his hair every year. You know what pulling it mean? Come on.
You mean cut it, trim it?
He would cut it, but it's pulling like, come on.
It's like you measuring it.
You measuring it on the pole. You're wrapping it around, right, and you're cutting that. Right. And that's going to be going, you know, whatever they're going to do with it. But they tell you here, the weight that he would cut off every year. Oh, right, yo. A couple of years ago, the bar, you know, the bar used to have brother, the bar used to have a ridiculous head of hair, brother. It was damn near a tragedy to the nation when he started to cut it off. Yeah, everybody was like, "Nigga, what the f you doing?" Like, it's like you cut your own hair, and that's how we are, because you exalting this brother for what the Lord gave him. Right. You get the point? It was one day, brother, the bar didn't wear the braids to class. He blew his hair out, brother, and that shit laid. Them sisters be talking about this shit laid. That thing was laying down. It was flat, laying all the way down on his. Bro, that shit got 1 million views that night. Nobody know what the hell he was teaching. But them broads was just, look at his hair. Oh my God. Yeah, girl, I used to do this to get long hair. And then the comments and sharing the video, and he dropping the truth. But they're there for his hair. Sidebar, Israel is carnal. So you're going to have to put on that show for them. You get the point? That's just who we are. Come on.
It's like, I remember that class specifically. I told Dan, and it was lit in the comments. I was like, ooh,
boy, listen, that comment shit. Listen, you couldn't even reply to a comment because by the time you put yours in, it just gone because it's just people chiming in, and he just give me that scripture, and he had the grill, and he shit that young the bar mouth, and he had the little war band, and the hair from the brother. That's how Conan's supposed to look. That's all I thought. I looked at him, I was like, they need to redo that goddamn movie. And his hair was, all the way down to his elbow, brother. You get the point? Now, this is today. Absalom had weight to it, that it was weighing heavy on his head. Right. Go ahead.
Oh, God. He weighed it. It's like he weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight.
Yikes. So whatever it was, you could look it up. You can look it up. I don't know. But there's benefit to not sinning. That's what I can say. It's like it. The Lord gonna bless you, gonna give you something absolutely glorious. You get the point? So now was it a shame for Absalom to did Absalom cut his hair because long hair was a shame? Huh? For all the fake Israelites who like to say that scripture in verse 14 means having short hair, having long hair is a shame. That's not what the Bible said. It said he cut his hair willingly because it was just, you know. I mean, I know how Israelites is. He cut his hair because he could grow that shit back. The average nigga who can't grow, that shit gonna take too long to grow. You don't want nobody cutting nothing. Right. You don't even want them ends, them split ends. Them sisters always talk about, you gotta go get that shit trimmed. Trim what? You ain't trimming shit. Go ahead.
It's like, 200 shekels, that's 5 pounds of hair. Okay.
What?
5 pounds.
Man had a whole bag of sugar on his head. A whole Domino's sack on his neck, brother. You know. And think about, them bros probably was braiding down that shit, locking that shit down. Right. Go cover your head, woman, before you braid this hair. Right away, Absalom, right away. Huff Skilly Dooley. I'm on it right away. Which one you like, Absalom? Now he facing the phone. He can't see the head covering. Give me the blue one. You wearing the blue one? Okay. If I turn around, it's gonna be a problem. Go ahead and braid the side up, sis. And she and they're playing all day. No woman. They get to your hair. That braid. You done? No. What the hell? Hold on. And they're playing this and it and that and it. Brother, it's ridiculous. Now Absalom cut his hair because it was a shame. They talk about how glorious the brother was. They say in all Israel. Now I gotta follow your purple faggot ass and get a low ass haircut.
Right.
For what?
Right.
Now, if a brother wants to do that, that's fine. There's no shame in that, but that's what you want.
Right.
But for those who see, read verse 16.
Verse 16. But if any man seem to be contentious,
Mm-hmm.
we have no such custom.
Contentious.
But if any man seem to be contentious,
Mm-hmm.
we have no such custom.
Right.
Neither the churches of God.
If any man seem to be contentious, we don't have a custom of, requiring a damn crew cut to come into the truth. We don't have a custom of requiring, none of that. That's just not. That's not us. Samson had 7 braids.
Right.
7 locks. What was that a shame? That was part of his, his culture, his heritage. What are we talking about? You get the point? So I hope that answered the brother question. I gave you a little bit of extended breakdown so you get the whole concept, the context of it, the spirit of it, so you could fully grow that here with no shame, Mark. And that's what people try to do. Once again, anybody fighting you for growing your hair is really trying to emasculate you. They're trying to take away your masculinity. Like you should feel shame. Like you should be humble now. A brother who grows his hair, now a brother who doesn't grow his hair, this is not talking about you, because you make that conscious decision to do it yourself. Right. That's fine. But a brother who does grow his hair, if somebody cuts his hair on purpose, it affects him. Even little children, you take a little boy, a little girl, or so whatever to the barber or whatever. First time to cut, brother, you would swear you're cutting a limb off. You would swear. They just see the scissors and they. Because it does something to you. It does something to you if that's what you have. You look at yourself in the mirror, man, the Lord done give me something. In the spirit, you thanking the Lord. Right. Now to come and force somebody to do it or make somebody feel ashamed, you feel in some type of way like you're supposed to look at yourself like what, you're a girl in the mirror? Right. That they're trying to emasculate you, brother. And if you was in class last week, I ain't gonna repeat it because there's kids in the class. But that's my motto for people like that. It begins with an F, it ends with a U. You fill in the blanks. Salakia.
When I was in Esau's military, even then I was kind of a little bit of a rebel, and I tried to grow my hair out and keep it within regs. Right. And then it was just such a battle with them that I cut it. And then when I came to the slave, it was another brother. He was like, man,
what happened?
You going through something?
Yeah.
Like you thought something
was wrong with you. Yeah, they're asking what happened. And listen, I forget about that. He saw military. I know in prisons at one time, I know where back in the islands in the prison, you go to jail, brother, they're cutting your hair. It ain't no religious rights. Now it's different. Right. But before they would, and it's for that same purpose. It's to humble you. Right. It's to humble you because you coming in there with braids that is you. You look in basketball. You remember Iverson used to have the braids. Right. They was different from the brother who played in New York, Latrell Sprewell. You remember him? No. It was different from whoever else was wearing braids at the time. Larry Johnson. You know what I mean? It was different from everybody. Everybody had their style. Now you sit everybody down and you're really cutting off the spirit in a way. Not saying the hair is your spirit, but you put your spirit in the hair. It's like somebody telling you, throw them Jordans in the trash. You're going to be like, what? Custom shit with your name on it and your colors and some shit like that. You tripping. It's just who we are. We put our spirit into our way. Go ahead.
It's like the what's the word? The comparison of pictures when you see our First Nation people, when they all gathered, they got the long braids, and then when they're in that school and they have their hair.
Tawada, please pull that picture up. That's a perfect one. Tawada, give him a hand for that. But that's really what it is. It destroys you, and it's a form of emasculating. It's taking your spirit, and it's making you humble. It's to humble you down because now you're not this big, bad, glorious thing no more. You get the point? It's not that. Well, did they cut the women's hair in the boarding schools? They kept them. Women kept their hair though. They probably didn't allow them to do the braids, but they didn't cut it. Come on.
They cut it
like a white woman's. Yeah, but she had her hair.
Right.
Them brothers was looking around. They was walking around looking like a white man.
Yeah.
You get the point? It was a man cut. You get the point? Not saying that the sisters who had their hair cut went through something less. Of course, it's going to hurt the same way. But taking all your hair, why didn't just leave a little bit for you to braid? Because they're cutting your culture off. And it's the same thing our oppressor does today. And I guarantee this brother here is some Christian who telling him about, his hair, or it's a shame to have long hair. It's some Christian who trying to emasculate you, trying to take away that fight that they see in you, that whole, that masculinity. That's all I could describe it as, that masculinity that they see in you. Come on.
I do have one sentence about.
Let me hear it real quick.
Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Absalom, in the middle of the third paragraph. It is thought that his luxuriant hair.
Oh, say it again.
It is thought that his luxuriant hair.
Boy, that's luxurious. Listen, that's some pimp talk right there. That's some pimp talk right there. That's that's luxuriant shit. See this luxury. I got a West Coast luxuriant shit, cuz luxuriant hair. Go ahead.
It is thought that his luxuriant hair contributed to his downfall by becoming entangled in the oak branches.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. That brother Absalom had so much hair, brother. Okay, he wanted to take the kingdom from David, right? He went to war with David for the kingdom. Maybe went to war is the wrong word, but he definitely rebelled against David. He tried to take the kingdom. David sent Joab to get to hunt down Absalom. David told Joab, if you all don't know the history on Joab is a shooter. He is a top striker. He's a, what is called him today besides shooter? Is there anything else?
Yeah.
He's a hitter, brother. Joab is a hitter. He's a Barry Bonds hitter. That's a straight out the park hitter. Joab takes pleasure in taking lives. He's like that nigga from Shutters, right? Max. David told Joab, I want my son alive. Yes, he's an enemy of the state, but bring him back alive. You hear me? They're chasing Absalom. Absalom has so much hair. He got stuck in the branches of the tree, and the horse rode out from under him, and he's stuck. Joab came up and be like, well, what do we have here? And cut his head off. I mean, kill him. Kill him, and tell David how Absalom fought back. It was crazy. But the brother had so much hair. It was, hair is part of our culture. It's a part of our custom.
Yeah.
And so, it's a glorious thing. A man he's glorious. Right. Solomon's servant, when the Queen of Sheba came, she saw the servant and thought that was Solomon. Right. This is how we are in spirit. So, brother, you want to grow your hair, man. Grow that shit all the way out. Huh? Right. Grow it out, blow it out, braid it up, do what the hell you want to do. Go ahead.
It's like I have the picture online right now, and as a brother online says, a priest and officer of war says slack y'all one. Remember when Blackwatch they had to pass the Crown Act.
Damn, I think I remember that. What was the Crown Act? Pull it up, please.
It's like the act that allows us to wear our hair, our hair naturally grows on our scalp as a slave.
To water. You get the point? Like, that's how far they would go to emasculate us, right, and take away our glory. Because, of course, for a sister, it's so much pressure. Right. With trying to look like, the oppressor. Right. You get the point? Or conform or feel shame about what she has. You know what I mean? Come on. Time for you? No sweat. Just swap out, all right? Any more questions, or are we good to go?
So there's another question from Officer Alizar.
No sweat. What was the comments I was on this thing here?
The comments we had, Themba76 says juices and berries when we're talking about the hair.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I heard about that. There's certain, the berries and stuff. You, of course, you drink it, but you put your concoction in and put that, that steam cap over that shit, and you're supposed to wake up in the morning like Rapunzel. I don't know if that's gonna work out. I don't know if that's gonna work. Yeah, I mean, just resign to the kingdom, man. That's all. Don't aim for it in this life. It's like it good.
Come on. And this is back when we were talking about the sisters who had to shave their head. Makudash about Yahanna says spoil of war and her father, sir.
Right.
And Shara Ranah says a woman who lost their father from war, and then another one says she had debris in her fingers from the war. No,
it ain't got nothing to do with the debris, right? And it don't have nothing to do with the like a husband. You know what I mean? This is really just, you know, her nation got destroyed as coming through. All right. Such the whatever other question we have, and then we rock. Slaka, yeah, we right up on the time. Now let's swap out real quick, and then we just move from there. Anybody else had any questions in class? All right, let me hear it while y'all swap out.
I had a question. The Revelation 19, sir. Most you want online first, sir?
Whichever one.
The brother that said, can he get the general breakdown of Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8 through 14?
Ecclesiastes 10.
8 through 14, sir.
Come. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 10. Verse 8. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Verse 9. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered.
Give yourself a thumb.
Come. Verse 9, whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. Verse 10, if the iron be blunt, and he do not wet the edge, then must he build this line. Then must he put to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Verse 11. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12.
He were all this broken down?
8 to 14.
Okay.
Okay. Verse 12. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. Verse 14. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be,
mm-hmm.
and what shall be after him. Who can tell him?
Okay. Let's go back up to 8.
Come. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it.
All right. Okay, go ahead. Keep reading.
And whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him.
Okay. Anybody knows? We want to try?
I was going to say, that scripture mostly I would say is like for a scorner, a person that thinks they knows it all, that think they got a little bit of knowledge.
Give me what say. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it. He that removeth a hedge, a snake shall bite him.
He that leaveth with his own understanding shall fall.
Digging a pit. Give me that. Give me what it's saying. You try?
Yeah. When you trying to set someone up, you'll end up setting yourself up.
That's it. You digging something, and that thing you dig, you fall into that. You get the point? He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it. You dig it into this thing, you could end up in it. You could not necessarily setting someone up, but that could be in it too. But more so, if you're digging to get down deeper, you had to be in it. You're gonna get in it. You get the point? Whatever it is you're doing, you're gonna get in that thing. You removing this hedge, a snake can bite you. This hedge is there for a reason. You're going to remove that thing. What's in the hedge can harm you, or what's behind the hedge can harm you. You get the point? This is wisdom. It's telling you what you should do or what you shouldn't do, what you should watch for. You understand? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 9. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt wherewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby.
Right, it's the same thing. Is as you going through and doing these things, you moving the stone, you're gonna be hurt as you're moving it. As you cleaving the wood, which is chopping the wood. You get the point? You're gonna be, what's it, endangered thereby. Why? Because what happens as you chopping wood? Tree fall. What else? There's another thing that's very common. You could miss. You hurt yourself. An axe head could come off and hit somebody else. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 10. If the iron be blunt and he do not wet the edge, then must he put to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Right?
Wisdom is profitable to direct, for direction. It's profitable to get wisdom. What is it saying about the line before? As you sharpening this blade, right? If you don't, put any water on it as you sharpen or whatever it is they do, it's not really water, it's like a salt solution or some shit like that. And you sharpening the edge, you're gonna have to work harder on it. Versus if you do it the right way with whatever it is they put on it, then you're gonna get it easier. Wisdom is profitable for you. You could either work hard or you could work smart. It's up to you though. You get the point? That's what he's saying. I think that's why they call this damn stone a whetstone even. That they used to sharpen a blade. I believe it's some kind of solution. I don't think it's straight water. I think it's something else. Even some of them high-powered drills, depending on the material they're drilling, they have a built-in thing for water. You know what I mean? Because why? It's hard metal and something hard going on something hard. That stone is something hard. And that sword or that knife edge is something hard. As you're trying to grind that thing down to a flat edge, you could work harder and do this shit, or you could work smarter. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 11. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better.
All right. What is that saying?
It's saying that the serpent will bite without enchantment, meaning a serpent will bite unprovoked, and like a babbler, a gossiper is the same way. I guess a babbler would be somebody that would be. Could you say that's a gossiper or somebody that talks too much?
Just running the mouth.
Right.
Simple, like a simpleton, right?
Right.
It's no better because. Somebody tell me that part. It's no better because why?
Because it's okay. The person that talks too much it's the same with the snake. It's unprovoked. I guess
you're dancing around it. You're dancing around it. Come on.
Both of it's natural.
You wanna try?
They'll both hurt without being. They could say hurtful things.
Say that last part again.
They could say hurtful things.
Who, the babbler?
The babbler.
Exactly. As you just running your mouth, you're going to say something that to the person who running their mouth is just in passing, but you don't offend somebody. Because you just because your mouth open, you just let whatever fall out your mouth.
Right. You
don't have no restriction or discipline in your mouth, and you could just at random just say some shit because you just that happens a lot. Say, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, you always running your goddamn mouth. That's the first thing somebody say. You're always running your mouth. A serpent could strike at any time. Same with a babbler. They're babbling so much, they say something. I told you not to say that. Shit. It's like that. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 12. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself.
Right. Anybody understand? Come on.
Yeah,
What does it say? Break it down.
Like a wise man is grief, like he's patient with what he's going to say. He's not going to just jump out there and say anything that's going to get him the serpent to attack him. But a fool, he just babble, and goes back to when he dig a ditch and fall into it. Because
in memoirs, you say in present, the words of a wise man's mouth is gracious. It's the best word for it is like tempered, and it comes within season. It says the right thing at that right time. When at that time somebody should say something far worse or exceedingly great, but they're saying the right time to say that. So he's, it comes, it's seasoned. It's the right thing at the right time for you to hear.
Right.
You understand? That's it, right? But a fool's mouth will swallow him up because you say something, he had to take it back, and he had to explain that shit back, and take that shit back. And I wasn't saying, and then before long, he just, I can't say no more. Get the point? Go ahead.
Okay, verse 13. The beginning of words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness.
Right. This is again the fool. You get the point? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 14. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be.
Right? Like, fool, he running his mouth. What the hell he talking?
Right.
And as a people, what do we do? Let's think about it. Keep it simple. What do we do? Who wants it? Sisters look like she knows what you're talking about. What do we do as a people? You have it?
Always talking.
No, but the person who always talking as you are around them, right? And they're just talking and you don't know what the hell they're talking about. As a people, what do we do?
damn, that's crazy.
What? Damn. What he talking about? I don't know, man. I said that nigga talk. I don't know what the fuck he talking about.
Right.
And then he come back. You know what I mean? Shit, man. Listen. Who you telling?
Right.
Shut his fucking mouth, boy. Yeah. That's this part here. You get the point? Like, a man don't know what shall be. Like, what the fuck is he? What are you talking about? Right? Keep going. Come on.
Remind me of James Brown when he on the stage and he talk to the band and be like, "Is everything?" They be like, "Yeah." Is it yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Shit, that's part of the performance. They better not say. They better say yeah, because that nigga paying them. They better say some shit. You get the point? This is different though. But go ahead. A man cannot tell what shall be.
A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him?
Right. What's going to be after him? Who can tell? What do you think I should do, man? Bro, listen, man. I don't know. I mean, if it was me, I would, but I'm not you though. You see, we different. You sort of parlay this shit. Right. You different. I'll tell you what I could do, but you man, shit. What do you think you should do? And then he break it up and be like, man, that's what I was thinking. That's my man. Because who could tell him? Who knows what he's talking about? Who knows what's coming after? Right. Like, nigga, just go ahead. Because who could tell him why? Nobody could tell him nothing because he just talking. Just, he know what he talking about. He understands shit, right? He knows. He good at. He's straight. There's less problems for me. You do your thing. Ain't no big deal. Right? I hope the brother understand. That's 14, right? Okay. We good to go?
I have a question, sir.
All right, no sweat.
Sir. In Revelation, Revelations chapter 19. Verse 20. That's like it says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. The beast, that's like the false prophet. Would that be the image of Caesar Borgia? Because the beast would be the oppressor. And so the beast and the false prophet. I'm trying to get it just on a proper
understanding of this. Okay, the false prophet here is T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. Yeah, a warrior sent me one the other day. Some Jehovah Witness nigga, a white man. He said, "Children are the enemy of God." I was like, surely we in the last days. And then he sent me another clip with this Jehovah Witness. He say, we in the last time of the last days, in the last week, and soon the last day we'll be in the last part of that last day for the last time. I was like, well, goddamn. There's so many last in that clip. Yeah, false prophet. Like the false prophet gonna be taken with the beast because the false prophet promotes the beast.
Right.
And they teach about the beast. All the Christian leaders. They're gonna be taken with him.
Right.
They're gonna go with him. Why? Because as this beast starts to fall, they're gonna try to prop him up. They're gonna try to say things to help prop him up.
Right.
And they're gonna be taken with him. You get the point?
Okay.
You read the whole thing?
So yeah, I'll read the whole verse.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image.
And worshipped his image. And the ones who received the mark of the beast.
Right.
The false prophet going to be taken because he's the one who giving people the mark of the beast.
Right.
He's the one who teaching them about the image. You get the point? The false prophet is really these religious leaders, some of them politicians, those, give me the lake of fire.
It's right here, sir.
Go ahead.
And them that worshipped his image, these both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Right, that's one. The lake, they both gonna be cast into that lake of fire, right. Which of course is America, because it's gonna be thermonuclear warfare. It's gonna be burning over here. But this is not that one. I want Revelation 12 and 9.
Oh, God. The 12 and 9, sir. Oh, God. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9.
Hold on. Yeah, you could give me that.
Oh, God, sir. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan.
Right, we know how to break that down. That old serpent, that snake from the garden, which is personified. It's a man. He's compared to a snake because of how he operates, like much like you call somebody a rat today. Right. It's that man from the garden, that old serpent who is called the devil and Satan. Go ahead.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Which is the white man. That's who he is today. That's when man and woman be fruitful and multiply. Esau was born. Right. He was replenished because why? He was there before. His spirit was in the earth before, and he came back again. And he's the one who deceives the whole earth today. Right? He right now trying to tell you that monkeypox is not a gay disease when it is. Yeah. You get the point? He's trying to tell you. He's telling you at the same time it could affect everybody, but he's telling the LGBTQ community to stop having sex. Why the hell does them having sex have to do with any goddamn thing? Right? Go ahead.
Mayor Bowser, she released the statistics on the monkeypox on Slaughter today.
What you say?
They left out the fact that it was majority of gay.
He deceived the whole world, brother. Okay. He trying to deceive the whole world. Go ahead.
Come. Which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
And his angels were cast out with him. Right. The beast, the white man, Satan, and his angels. Right. Satan and his angels, the Christian church will tell you this is a precept for Satan being cast out of heaven and fallen to the earth. No, the white man is the devil. That's what it says here. He was called the devil and Satan. That's Esau and his angels, his messengers, those who work for him, those who teach what he once taught, those who bringing in that all that new world order talk is that whole LGBT nonsense.
Right.
All that, don't say, don't talk about the law, don't talk about, black people being the Israelites. All that thing there is his angels are those.
Right.
So the false prophet is these people here, right? They cast into the lake of fire. Right. I think there's another one. Where it says lake of fire. Hold on. Where you was 19 and 20?
Yep, come on, sir.
Okay.
We got Revelation 20 and 15.
Let me hear it.
Come on, sir. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Nah. Give me 20 and 10.
Come on. Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. And the devil that deceived them.
Right? Who is the devil that deceived them? The oppressor. He's the devil the Bible speaks of. Go ahead.
Come on. Was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone.
Why? Because this is what Michael and the archangels coming down under Christ's orders to burn this kingdom down.
Right.
He's going to be cast into the lake of fire because America is going to be a lake of burning, molten, whatever. Right? Go ahead.
Where the beast and the false prophet are.
The beast and the false prophet.
Right.
The beast and the false prophet. The one who going forth devouring the earth and lying to the earth, and the false prophet who coming behind him and say, no, he can't trust him.
Right.
This is what we need to do. We need to do this. We need to do that. Pray about this. Pray about that. You need to go vote for this one.
Right.
The false prophet going to be there with him too. Go ahead.
And shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
You understand? That's what it's talking about. That false prophet is your religious leaders, your politicians who work for this beast, who support this beast. Your 666.
Yeah.
666 men. Those are going to be also within that. You get the point? Those people who push the image of the beast and the doctrine and the mark of the beast and all of that. All right.
Also, too, sir, if I could,
go ahead.
in the same verse in Revelation 19, I'm trying to find where it says it. It's talking about how Christ is going to be on the white horse with the angels going to be on white horses. Let me just find it first. It's right here.
Is in chapter 19?
Come, sir.
11.
But it's another one where it's mentioning that they're going to go to war. Right here, verse 14, sir. Okay. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. For somebody that try to debate that this is saying that like Christ is not coming back on the UFOs. Like what's the breakdown for this one right here?
Okay, so what they're saying about this one?
Okay, that how is Christ and the angels coming back in the chariots when they coming back on white horses?
So they're trying to say, okay, it's not UFOs, but it's horses.
In a roundabout way.
Okay, but what's the point of it though? They're trying to say what? That we wrong for saying UFOs or something?
I don't think they're trying to say we wrong. But in a roundabout way, that's really what they're saying. But really, the question was how are they coming on white horses, but they're supposed to be coming back in the chariots. Okay,
let me make sure this is Christ is talking about. All right, hold on. Sorry, Lamb. Give me verse 10.
Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy.
All right. So now this is who talking here. This is John. John the Revelator, right? John seeing a vision. As he seeing it, he fell. He fell down. He started worship. He said, listen, don't worship me. This is the spirit you're looking at. This is in the spirit what you're seeing.
Right.
So this lets you know this is a vision.
Right.
This is a vision he having similar to a dream that's from the Lord. Right. All right, go ahead.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Right? So now this here is a vision. Just like there is no woman sitting on a beast with 7 heads earlier in Revelation. You get it drinking wine, right? If this means Christ is coming back on a white horse, then we should not be speaking against America, but we should be speaking on some woman who is a whore, who sits on this beast that comes out of the ocean, and she's sitting on a drinking wine and scarlet. Then that should be real. You get the point? But this is a vision. These things represent something else. What does a white horse represent?
Usually, this is the knight in shining armor, the savior,
or the hero.
Right.
Just think that Lord of the Rings. I forget which one it was. When that wizard, he left the whole movie, and I mean they do the movie so good. I mean everybody watching it for the first time thought they was all gonna die, and then this nigga come up on the top of the mountain with this white horse and ride straight down into the other army and start to kill people. He was the only one on the white horse. It was to signify this is the savior coming here. This is the backup. This is the troops coming. This is the hero of this particular moment. That white horse is symbolic of the hero. And he that sat on him was faithful and true. Why faithful and true? Because he said, I go to prepare a place for you. Where I'm going, you can't come. I'm going to see you all again. Just like in that movie, Lord of the Rings. The Jewish man, he always takes stuff from the Bible to make the movies, and that's what makes them good. In that movie, the wizard left them, and he was supposed to go and do something, and they was wondering if he was coming, and blah, 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 and they couldn't figure it out, and then that nigga show up right when you was like, well, this is it. And he just show up and ride straight down. He's faithful. You like, damn, man, you come in the right time. That's how Christ is going to return. Like that, with that spirit of it. Go ahead. Now, this is not a literal horse he's riding. Why? Because horses can't fly. Oh, you're looking at me. You're looking at me like I teach a heresy. Like, hey, that ain't UPK. I don't know if you've ever seen a flying horse, but last I checked, horses don't fly. Come on. Snakes don't talk, but shit, what do I know? Yeah, I'm just babbling. Fuck, I know. Yeah, shit. Right? It's a vision. It's what he saw at what the vision the Lord gave him at that time. Is like this man, the sky break, and there's a white horse. He said because a white horse means something. Like you got a white horse, no other colors on it. It means something. You get the point? And he who sat in him was faithful and true. Go ahead.
And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
And he rightfully judges and make war. So like how now America would drop predator drones, bombs on countries. That's not righteous. That's not in righteousness at all. It's not in righteousness at all. The damn, if they need to drop bombs, it should be on the Vatican. Watch they lose the channel tonight. Y'all ain't gonna find I.S.U.P.K DC tomorrow. If they should fly a drone over that place for all the molestation and rape and the boarding houses that they did. That's judging in righteousness and making war. But they don't judge righteously. But Christ's going to come, brother, and he is going to judge in righteousness. And he's going to make war in righteousness. You get the point? Go ahead.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
Well, if Christ was riding a white horse that comes out the sky, riding on air, then his head should look like Ghost Rider. If the horse real. You get the point? But his eyes like flames of fire, that's metaphoric. You get the point? He had these serious piercing eyes like fire. You get the point? Go ahead.
And on his head were many crowns.
Right? So now what he's riding with a whole ton of crowns, it's symbolic, meaning he really had power and authority as he coming through. He had many crowns, meaning he was in charge. He coming through, and he's the man that runs all the kingdoms. He is the king of all the kings. You get the point? Go ahead.
And he had a name written that no man knew.
If Christ was riding on a real horse, then how it's Christ riding? It said he had no name. The person who's saying he was riding on a horse, then he didn't have a name. Because how you know who it is? What does that mean? He had a name no man knew. Anybody? He's coming back riding on a horse out the sky now. Right? Like how Jordan Peele make that movie. You see that horse? Nope. I ain't see shit. Nope. You don't know what I'm talking about. You know that movie he made with UFOs? Right? He coming and riding on a horse, a ton of crowns that not falling off or going nowhere. Fire, lamps of fire in his eyes. If the horse is real, all that got to be real too. And then, well, nobody know his name, so what the hell we gonna call him?
Truth.
Nope. He had a name that no man knew, but he himself. So that means the Most High don't even know his name. He's the only one who I'm gonna call myself. You don't know my name. You don't know my name. Right? If somebody is coming up against you with it, that's how I would break it down, just to show them they're stupid. If it's just somebody who's asking the question, you can just give them the straight breakdown. Anybody know it? For time's sake, I'm gonna give it. It's talking about his reputation. Like Christ is the only person who actually knows everything he did.
Right. You
get the point? Precept.
Even all these works are not listed in the book and are too much to exceed. I'm paraphrasing, but
I'll take that one. There's the other one where he healed the brother and tell him, don't tell nobody this. That whole thing Kevin Gates tried to say. Kevin Gates say he jump start the car with his two hands. Some broad is stuck and she go to get a jumper cable. He said, no need. I did this right here and this right here. Don't tell nobody. Like, nigga, you babbling once again. Babbling. But because he did so many miracles, he has a reputation that's ridiculous. Right. Meaning, he walk in the room. Okay, I don't want it to sound Christian. Meaning, imagine you are a politician who's on the right side.
Right.
Right? You're a politician who's on the right-hand side. You're trying to help black people. Marion Barry, perfect example. Everybody knows Marion Barry reputation, right? Oh, what do you know about Marion Barry? This nigga here. Good night. We love him still. We don't care. That whole set him up. What are you talking about? That whole didn't cover her head. That's why. Go ahead.
He's supposedly DC's best man ever.
Right? What else you know about him?
He was okay for the black people. As much as any mayor could be, he had the youth programs for the black kids in the summer. Mm-hmm. Like he did as much as he, as a politician could do
for black people. All right. Anything? No, sis. You'll heard of him before. You'll know who he is. From what you know about him, what could you say that people say about him?
I just knew that he helped a lot of black people.
He helped a lot of people. That's about all you know. But you ain't gonna know who rent he paid. Right. You don't know who he went to court for. You don't know who bail he paid. Right. You're not gonna know the things he come on the scene. Everybody is, man, that nigga is man. He helped me so much, but you don't know what he did for each person.
Right.
You get the point? Because he did so much. Think like that. By no means am I comparing Christ to Marion Barry, because he was a drug addict, as Kagar so kindly remembered and reminded me. He was an absolute cokehead, but they elected him twice with no problem. And they'll elect him a third time if you walk on the scene right now. So, maybe drugs work. I don't know. But that's a name that nobody knows. Right. You get the point? That's a reputation that you really don't know a whole ton of stuff. Even right now, I think in DC government, like a lot of that older generation having all those good jobs in DC's government comes from Marion Barry's initiative. Okay. Right? Comes from he used to go in the I think is it the Rotunda? Wherever these are the mayor meetings, and he used to cuss them senators out. on behalf of DC. That's why they didn't like him that much. You get the point? And okay, he's not the only dopehead in politics.
Right.
But why is his shit is out there, like, because of what he was doing for black people? It was so much. A lot of the stuff that's, you know, trickled down today comes from the stuff he did. Now, do you know everything he did? Hell fucking no, you ain't gonna know it. Right. Think like that. Like all the work this brother did and miracles he did and shit he did that is just not recorded in this book. Okay. There's only certain things recorded in this book. Remember, Mary came and asked him to change water to wine. Right. Think about the shit he was doing in the house. You get the point? Like, you know, who knows? Right. Go ahead.
So I got the precept, sir.
Go ahead.
John chapter 21, verse 25. And there are also many other things which Jesus did, the which, if they should be written every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written.
You have a name that no man knew. Give me also Luke 5 and 12. I'll take that one. What's the name? Was that one you just read?
John 21 and 25, sir.
John 21, 25. Let me see where I write this. God damn.
Luke 5 and 12, sir.
Luke 5 and 12. I want to say Revelation 3 and 12 too. No. That might be the last one I'm going to give you. Hold
on. The book of Luke, chapter 5, verse 12. And it came
so, like, where you was at again? John what?
21 and 25, sir.
Okay, so, like, go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 5, verse 12. And it came to pass, when he was in a certain city, behold, a man full of leprosy, who seeing Jesus fell on his face and besought him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14. And he charged him to tell no man.
He charged him to tell nobody what the hell happened.
Right.
So Christ asked him, listen, don't tell nobody I did this for you. Do not tell anyone. You get the point?
Right.
Don't tell anyone. Remember, even with the parables and stuff, he ain't trying to give this to everybody. Mm-hmm. So much so that when he was going through the crowd, the woman with the issue of blood, when she grabbed his fringes, he said, I felt power leave me. Who touched me? Because he ain't trying to just give it to everybody. Right. You understand? So he's telling this brother, don't go telling everybody. Go ahead.
Come. And he charged him to tell no man, but go and shew thyself to the priest,
mm-hmm.
and offer for thy cleansing.
Right, and he did that because it was biblical law to do that. Mm-hmm. When you recovering from leprosy, you had to go and the priest had to do not a whole thing, but a certain protocol for you to come on back. Go ahead.
According to Moses' command.
Right.
For a testimony unto them.
You understand? Like that's what the priests are required to do when they're dealing with leprosy or leprosy in a house or anything like that. They're supposed to do that. He tell them, go to the priest and tell no man. Right. Think about how much people who actually listened, who actually did not tell anybody. Right. He has a name that nobody knows, right. that no man knew except for him. Right. He's the only person who knows the shit he did because he did it. Right. You get the point? And as a precept you pull, he did so much shit that if you had to write it, brother, the world couldn't contain. Right. You get the point? He was that person. He had a reputation that was, you couldn't stand with this brother's reputation. You can't question, which is why he's able to judge righteously. He's able right. to judge in truth because of his record. Right. You understand? So this is not literally saying it's horses he's coming on. Oh, okay. It's not literal horses. This is symbolism of the hero. Right. You get the point? Okay. Symbolism of the hero coming out doing this thing. Hold on. Let me see some more. That's enough. I think that's about it. All right. It's not talking about literal horses. Just like the 4 horsemen. Right. It's not riding literal horses coming through in right. the spirit. It's like how you would see somebody aggressively riding a horse. It's to give you that theatrical image of this is what's happening now in the earth. The death, the famine, the this, the that. He coming riding this white horse and everybody with him in white, meaning his whole crew coming to deliver. Right. His crew coming to, it's like the SWAT, America's SWAT team kicking a door, everybody have SWAT on the chest.
Right.
Because you know, oh shit, man, you don't know who coming behind that face mask and that gun. Thank you. Thank God. Thank God. You just in that spirit because everybody has that uniform on. Right. The white is symbolic of the hero, and the horse is just, you know, again, a vision. It's not an actual horse.
Right.
All right. That's it. I think we're gonna wrap up there with the time, man. I want to go no further. Okay. We good to go? That was it. No more questions, right?
Yeah, that was it, sir. All
right, no sweat. With that, pass the class. Who's he got? Who you have there, Asher? Or?
I'm not sure.
Pass the class over to Freestyle Officer God, man. God damn. He's like, which one are you? Like, he's banned.
He's barely announced. We got the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The Commander General Yahanna. New rules for brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes to the school, they are all limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from their head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny or any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department of teaching. Priest funds, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upholy convocation
Trumpets, September 25th.
Yeah, memorial blowing of the trumpets. First day of the 7th month. Sunday, 25th September 2022. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 to 25. Remind them, and I want you to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK investing material.
Right. Also remember August 27th, 28th, the New York cookout, East Coast cookout. The 28th is the cookout. Is it Marcus Garvey Park? Marcus Garvey Park. I believe that's where it usually is at. Everybody who ever been there before, you'll know the park is kind of big, but you'll know where we at, right on the right around the corner from that that pool. I forget what's the other street that cross it. Right? It's right around the corner from that pool. The 27th, of course, is a camp, big camp in Times Square, New York. Times Square, New York. You know, Commander General Yahanna gonna be coming through. You all know how he get down when he get in Times Square. You know what I mean? It's too much masculinity for Times Square. They be trying to come and think they could humble the brother, and he's going to light their ass up, brother, as he always do. I've never seen a Times Square where he's there, and it's just, I mean, questions from everywhere, brother. Everywhere, every which corner. And he's tearing them out the frame. You ain't going to want to miss Times Square, Commander General Yahanna. I think you're going to get there around 3 p.m. And that night, yacht party, right? Those of you who can't swim, yeah, I mean, get some power on your head. All right, yeah, I mean, gonna be a massive weekend in New York. All right, go ahead.
If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start to use wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, and scarf. And with that, I say, imagine we get to man. Then if Israel, we're gonna get workers to the teaching. Then if Israel, imagine Shabbat, imagine Barak.
Yahweh Shimmy Al-Shabrakatham.
Yahweh Shimmy Al-Shabrakatham.
Saw which means return. Sisters understand. Then if Israel, we'll get the sisters one first salute. Then if Israel, imagine Shabbat, imagine Barak.
Yahweh Shema Al-Shabrakatham. Shimmy Al-Shabrakatham.
Yahweh Shema Al-Shabrakatham.
That's his best.